him as the underdog being kept out of the spotlight, and every arena echoed that frustration. Now into Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. Wyatt wasn't just attacking opponents, he was collecting them. His whole philosophy was built on breaking people down mentally first, and Daniel Bryan became his most important target. Why? Because Bryan represented resistance, chaos, a man the fans had chosen despite the system's resistance. In Wyatt's eyes, Bryan wasn't just another superstar. He was someone who needed to be saved. But Wyatt's idea of saving someone was twisted. It meant isolation, control, reprogramming. So leading into the 2014 Royal Rumble, this wasn't just a match being booked randomly. It was the continuation of a psychological war that had been building for weeks. Bryan fighting to stay himself, and Wyatt trying to convince him that he never was. By the time they meet at the Royal Rumble, it wasn't about rankings and momentum anymore, it was about identity. And that's what made it so intense, because every moment in that match carried the weight of a question. Can you break a man who the world refuses to let break? Before these two even stepped into the ring at the Royal Rumble, the tension between Bryan and Wyatt had already been simmering for weeks, and honestly, it didn't feel like a typical wrestling storyline. It felt like a psychological descent. It all started when Bryan was at the peak of his yes moment, and the crowd wasn't just behind him, they were overwhelmingly behind him. Every arena turned into a sea of yes chants, and that kind of organic rebellion against authority made him the biggest threat to the status quo in the WWE at the time. And that's exactly where Bray Wyatt steps in. Wyatt and his family began targeting Bryan, not just physically, but mentally. They weren't attacking him like rivals trying to climb rankings. They were isolating him, studying him, trying to dismantle what made him Daniel Bryan in the first place. Wyatt's promos during this time were unsettling. He didn't talk like a man chasing victory. He talked like a man trying to recruit a soul. He saw Bryan's passion, his connection with the fans, and twisted it into something he believed was fragile, something that needed to be broken and rebuilt under his guidance. The turning point came when Bryan was forcibly pulled into the Wyatt family storyline. For a brief period, it even looked like Wyatt had succeeded. Bryan was dressed in the sheep's mask, standing silently among them, stripped of the energy that defined him. But that wasn't the end. That was the spark, because the fans refused to accept it. The yes movement didn't die. It exploded. The backlash was so loud, so sustained, that WWE had to pivot the story. Bryan broke free, snapping back into his old self, but now with something different behind his eyes. Urgency. So by the time the Royal Rumble approached, this wasn't just a match that was booked, it was the payoff of weeks of psychological warfare. Wyatt trying to prove he could consume Bryan's identity, and Bryan fighting to prove he could never be owned. And when they finally meet in the ring, it wasn't just a collision of two superstars, it was the result of a story built on control, resistance, and a crowd that refused to let their voice be silenced. Heading into the 2014 Royal Rumble, all eyes were on Daniel Bryan, but not just because he was winning matches, it was because of what he represented at that exact moment in WWE history. Bryan wasn't the corporate pick, he wasn't the obvious face of the company archetype, he was smaller, scrappier, and constantly fighting uphill against perception as much as opponents. And yet, week after week, the crowd made it clear he was their choice. The yes movement wasn't just noise, it had become full-blown force. Every arena he walked into turned into a rally. Every near fall felt personal to the audience. And that kind of connection is so powerful, but also so dangerous in wrestling storytelling, because it puts intense pressure on where the company wants to go versus where the fans want them to go. Going into this match with Bray Wyatt, Bryan wasn't in a comfortable spot either. He was in the middle of something much darker than a standard rivalry. Wyatt had already tried to break him down mentally, tried to isolate him, tried to strip away the energy and identity that made Bryan who he was. So Bryan wasn't just preparing for a match, he was trying to reclaim stability. What made this moment so compelling is that Bryan didn't approach it like someone intimidated. He didn't break away from Wyatt's psychological game. Instead, he leaned into what defined him: resilience, speed, and an almost stubborn refusal to stay down. But there was also a shift. You could see it in the way Bryan carried himself. The crowd support wasn't just fuel, it was expectation. Every time he stepped into the ring, it felt like he wasn't just fighting for wins anymore. He was fighting to prove that the audience's belief in him wasn't misplaced. So as we walk into the Royal Rumble match against Bray Wyatt, Daniel Bryan wasn't just another competitor on the card. He was the center of a storm, fan expectations, company direction, and that's what it made it feel so intense before the bell even rang. Because Bryan wasn't walking into uncertainty, he was walking into inevitability. If you look at this from the other side, Bray Wyatt wasn't just another opponent on the card. He felt like something entirely different in the WWE. Wyatt had arrived with this unsettling presence that didn't rely on championships or traditional momentum. Instead, his strength came from the atmosphere, from silence, from the feeling that when he spoke, the ring itself became smaller, and from the fireflies. And by the time he stepped into this feud with Daniel Bryan, his character had already been built around one core idea: control through perception. He didn't rush victories. He didn't chase quick dominance. He dismantled people slowly, mentally first, physically second. Going into this match, Wyatt saw Bryan differently than most opponents. To him, Bryan wasn't just a talented wrestler or a fan favorite. Bryan represented resistance, chaos that had become organized, a movement the audience had essentially built outside of WWE's control. And that made Bryan interesting, but also something Wyatt believed needed correcting. Wyatt's promos during this period weren't about anger, they were about certainty. He spoke like someone who had already believed the outcome was written. Like Bryan wasn't an equal in this story, but a soul that just hadn't accepted its place yet. The mindset shaped everything about how he approached this feud. Every interaction felt like he was trying to strip away layers of Bryan's identity, confidence, energy, crowd connection, until there was nothing left but doubt. And what made Bray Wyatt especially dangerous at this point in his career was that he didn't need to win quickly. Even losing didn't fully break the illusion he created, because the real success of Bray Wyatt as a character wasn't just victory in the ring, it was whether he could leave you changed afterwards. So when he walked into the Royal Rumble match against Daniel Bryan, he wasn't approaching it like a typical contest. He was stepping into what he saw as inevitability he had already started shaping. Bryan represented the will of the crowd. Wyatt represented the idea that will could be rewritten. At that clash, that quiet psychological confidence versus loud collective belief was what made his side of the story feel so unsettling even before the bell rang. This wasn't just a match feud, it was Bray Wyatt trying to break Daniel Bryan mentally before the bell ever rang, and Bryan trying to prove his movement couldn't be corrupted or stopped. Bray's side of things was classic Wyatt family psychology. He wasn't just calling Bryan out as a competitor, he was trying to redefine him. Bray kept pushing the idea that Bryan didn't belong to the fans, didn't belong to the self, and wasn't even the Yes Movement leader people thought he was. In Bray's mind, Bryan was just another lost soul pretending he had control, and Bray was the one honest enough to strip that away. The promos had the eerie calm to them, almost like he was speaking from a place of certainty that Bryan's spirit was already breaking down. Daniel Bryan's promos in response were the complete opposite energy, and that contrast is what made this feud work so well. Bryan leaned fully into the connection with the crowd. The Yes movement wasn't just a chant anymore. It was his identity, his resistance, and his proof that he wasn't controlled by anyone like Bray Wyatt. He sold the idea that Bray represented everything he had fought against in his career: manipulation, doubt, and being told he wasn't good enough. Bray is trying to convert Bryan. Bryan is trying to survive himself and the pressure that comes with being the fans' chosen guy. That's why this feud hits harder than a standard build. It's not just hype, it's psychological warfare layered over crowd emotion. What made this build so effective is that both men had something to prove, but in completely different ways. Bryan had to prove he wasn't just a fan favorite who could be ignored by management. He had to prove he could turn that crowd support into real, undeniable success against someone as unsettling and unpredictable as Bray Wyatt. Bray, on the other hand, had to prove that the energy surrounding Bryan, the chants, the movement, the belief could be broken down when confronted with something darker and more psychologically focused. So when they walk into the Royal Rumble setting, it's not just about winning or losing. It's Bryan carrying an entire audience's frustrations on his back, and Bray trying to prove that all that belief system can be dismantled by force of will and manipulation. That's what gives this match its tension before the first move is ever made. Now, let's get into it. If you're watching this on Netflix, it starts at 8 minutes 7 seconds. YouTube, it's about 8 seconds in. Let's get ready. The bell's about to ring. Okay, folks, this one started, and we are underway. Let's see what happens here. The Wyatt is a strange dude. Crowd chanting, yes, 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 for Daniel Bryan. The emotion is building here tonight. The look on Wyatt's face says it all. And they lock up. Here we go. Bryan now into the corner. Bray Wyatt blocked by Daniel Bryan and looks to fight out of the corner. Daniel Bryan giving away a lot of weight to Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt has a very unorthodox style. I don't know if you can call it a style. It's unorthodox, to put it mildly. Flattening Daniel Bryan there. I see no mercy from him. There's no doubt, as we mentioned before, that Bray Wyatt has developed the messiah complex. Take another look here. Bryan into the ropes with an elbow. Obviously, Harper and Rowan, who are at ringside, have brought into this something more. Bryan now with the knee to Wyatt. Look at this. Bray Wyatt down, grabbing his left leg. Knees now by Bryan to the midsection. Off the ropes, chasing away the Wyatt family. And again, Rowan and Harper are going to play a major role in this match. Bray Wyatt is a beacon of hope for these guys. I can't believe they brought into what Bray Wyatt was selling, but they follow him. Here comes Rowan now. Eric Rowan on the attack. Referee coming in, backing him off, telling them, John Cone, get lost. He's throwing them out. He's telling them to leave the ringside, and Wyatt comes in from behind. Harper and Rowan have been tossed from the arena. They must leave the ringside. Wyatt, tell him now, I don't need you to fight this war for me. I've got this. My boys, you'll be here. I got this. He's telling them. Wyatt sends them off. He seems prepared to go it alone. This war is for him. Get ready, Bray, because this is going to be a war. Daniel Bryan off the top rope with the cross body block, throwing caution to the wind against Bray Wyatt. Wyatt reaching down to that left leg, seems injured. Daniel Bryan, a one-on-one match, he certainly has it now. One thing we've learned about Daniel Bryan, he is hard knocks. He'll never give in. Crowd chanting, Daniel Bryan. Here we come, flying off the top rope, cross body, lateral press, kick out by Wyatt. Bryan has Wyatt reeling. Watch this, the scene from the outside of the ring there. Incoming Daniel Bryan. Kicks to the leg now, both legs. Rights, lefts. Wyatt now reversing Bryan into the corner. Bray Wyatt after him, kissing the boot. Bray Wyatt has not, whoa, I was going to say, he hasn't been able to get out of the blocks until that point. Daniel Bryan landing hard on the floor. I think he might have hit his head on the steel steps there as he tumbled out. That may be a game changer. Daniel Bryan has some sort of concussion issues over in the past, so we're going to need to be watching that. The way he fell there did not look good. Wyatt now in to capitalize. Watch out. Daniel Bryan again with the right hand from Bray Wyatt. Oh, Wyatt comes charging in. Daniel Bryan throws him over the ring steps, and Bray Wyatt back to holding that left leg. It seems the previous left leg injury is coming back to haunt him. Oh, God, look at that. That was tough. For one thing, this buys Daniel Bryan a little time to recuperate in the ring as Wyatt gets back up on the apron. I think Daniel Bryan had to hit his head on those steps. He seems foggy and chop blocked right down to the ring. What a competitive Bray is. Unless a man would have stayed down, but he's tough. Daniel now kicking back of the leg. Daniel Bryan not showing any favoritism, using his right leg and his left leg, kicking every part of Bray Wyatt. For all we know, that hamstring, the more Daniel Bryan kicks it, the more it's going to affect Bray Wyatt. Snap leg takedown now by Bryan. Daniel Bryan, guys, we know he's a submission artist. Can he wear Bray Wyatt down to where he gives in? Wyatt right now kicking him back, trying to recuperate. What's Bryan locking him in here for now? Is this sharp? He's locking him in for a sharp shoulder. He does not have this locked in. He does not have that leg crossed or hooked. He's just trying to punch the left leg at this point now, I think. This is going to hurt. Oh, he's got Bray Wyatt by the hair, getting in his face. Bryan, wow, smashing his face into the mat. Bryan seems a bit agitated here tonight. Months of pent-up frustrations. Now again looks to put Bray Wyatt away. Notice how Bryan hooked the bad leg. Wyatt now coming back. Headbutt now by Bray Wyatt. This is unbelievable. Back it up. Ramming him into the corner again. Watch this replay now as Bray Wyatt gets his head stomped into the mat. You can't blame Daniel Bryan for acting this way. Over the past few months, he has put up with a lot. I got to give kudos to Bray Wyatt, though. I mean, I'm surprised he got up from that. Look at this, and I'm sorry, who can blame him? Oh, back into that left leg. Bray Wyatt invited Daniel Bryan into his family, made him feel welcomed, made him feel like he was finally a part of something, and Daniel turned his back on him. He became a traitor. Daniel Bryan was an ingrate, and now trying to suplex Wyatt back into the ring. Wyatt now trying to get him up, trying to reverse it. Bray Wyatt trying to suplex Daniel Bryan out. Bryan fighting back as well in a stalemate here for a moment. Bryan is out on the apron now. Both men hammering each other back and forth. Kick to Bryan's midsection. So far, Bray is blocking all of those punches with his face. Bryan down on the mat now. Bray Wyatt, so unorthodox. You don't know what to expect next out of him. Watch this move right here. Driving Daniel Bryan into the ring apron. That was brilliant. Bray Wyatt seems to be lining Daniel Bryan up now. He's just coming. Bray Wyatt just keeps coming at you with Lord knows what next. Oh, Bryan rolled into the ring now. I don't think Bray Wyatt knows what he's even going to do next. Both men taking abuse here tonight. Suplex by Bray Wyatt. Daniel Bryan reeling on the mat now. And there's Bray Wyatt with his arms stretched out. Looking to take control here with a boot to Bryan's head. Chin lock in here now. Bray Wyatt continues punishing Daniel Bryan. Remember, we've talked about this earlier. Wyatt telling Bryan that everything that happens from now on is your fault. We're going to punish you. Tell you, looking into Bray Wyatt's eyes, you've got to lose confidence because he's so dark and he enjoys beating people up. But there's no quit in Daniel Bryan. That's the one thing we've learned about this man over the years. There's never been any quit in him as Bray Wyatt launches him over the top rope. Daniel Bryan now trying to get up, trying to recapture himself. There's going to be more bad landings in his future tonight, I think, including one from Sister Abigail. Wyatt is just so dangerous because you never know what's coming. You never know what's happening. You just know it's going to hurt. Now, Bryan with his head against the ring post and Bray Wyatt punching him so his head slams in that post. Skull crushed into that ring post again. Crowd's going wild. I don't think I've ever seen anybody's head used as a battering ram into a ring post before. Daniel Bryan is hurt. If he didn't have a concussion before now, he may very well have one now. And that's no ordinary grimace either, the way he's holding both sides of his head. Wyatt comes in now, dropping on Daniel Bryan, crushing him with his own weight. Bray Wyatt now calling out to the fans. You built him. Help him now. Why don't you stop me? Why don't you help him? Look at this again from Bray Wyatt. Using his body as a weapon. I think he's trying to reiterate what he's told Daniel Bryan before. Everything that happens is your fault. Looking for a cover there, Bryan kicks out. You want to dance with the devil? You get your wish. Kick to the face there by Wyatt. Bray is embarrassed and humiliated after Bryan pulled that stunt a few weeks ago. Bray Wyatt doesn't like to be embarrassed, and he's going to make Daniel Bryan pay for it here tonight. Oh, clotheslining him into the second rope, right on the side of the head and neck, trying to decapitate him. Bray Wyatt in for a cover. Well, Bryan kicks out. Again, staying to cover. Hooked the leg and kicked out again by Bryan. Daniel Bryan will not go away. The rope just wrecked the side of Daniel Bryan's neck. Wyatt now in a reverse chin lock. This is the attack of Bray Wyatt. It's vicious. That'll rattle everything inside your head. And then after all that sick smile on his face. Is he crazy or is he a genius? Watch this. I mean, this is absolutely sickening. Bryan now ducks under and then a kick right to Bryan's midsection. He's trying to build up some momentum. Wyatt's not going to let that happen. Bray Wyatt in control. Daniel Bryan landing on his back and his neck. If that shoulder didn't hurt him, the mat did. This is confidence now by Bray Wyatt. Look at him now. Standing, looking over his back at Daniel Bryan, trying to intimidate him. Oh my God. It's so creepy when he does this. How would you like to see that coming at you in the dark? Freakiest thing I've ever seen. He needs an exorcism. Now Bray Wyatt coming in, crushing Daniel Bryan in the corner, throws him down to the mat. Bray Wyatt in total control. Look at this. Cover by Wyatt. Kick out by 2 by Daniel Bryan. Right back to that neck. Putting all that pressure on. Trying to dissect Daniel Bryan. Crowd chanting for him now. Daniel Bryan. There's a strange perverseness watching Bray Wyatt in the ring sometimes. It's entertaining, no less. Strangely brilliant. Because you never know what he's going to do next. Wyatt missing the elbow now. Bryan rolling out of the way creates a little bit of separation here. Bryan needs this. I'm not sure if Daniel Bryan should just get out of the ring and leave right now. You know he won't do that, but maybe he should. He will stay till the bitter end. Off the ropes, ducks under, and a clothesline by Daniel Bryan, bringing the big Bray Wyatt down. Bryan now trying to pump himself up. It's rally time for Daniel Bryan. He's coming back. Kicks now to the midsection, to the leg. Reversal, Bryan into the corner. Reversal, Bryan drops out of the way and drops Bray Wyatt into the second, face buckling off that turnbuckle. And now Bray Wyatt with a little payback. Kicks, lefts and rights. Daniel Bryan getting himself in there. Every one of those kicks making its impact felt, finding its mark. Now what? Whoa. Hurricane Rana off the top rope. Bryan for the win here. Hooks the leg. Bray Wyatt gets the shoulder up. Daniel Bryan has to be wondering now what's it going to take to keep Bray Wyatt down. Crowd chanting, yes, this is awesome, and yes, it is. Bryan now up to the top rope, backflip on his feet. Off the ropes, coming in, misses a clothesline. Wyatt levels him. What a collision that was. What about the quickness? The quickness you saw there, deceivingly unbelievable. From out of nowhere, he launches himself as a weapon. As much as I hate to give him credit, it's enough to put Daniel Bryan down? No. No fall there for Wyatt. Take another look and watch the quickness here of Bray Wyatt. From out of nowhere, that collision absolutely explodes into Daniel Bryan. That was impressive. The universe, WWE Universe wants this so badly to get behind Daniel Bryan, to get that yes movement going, but this is Bray Wyatt keeps overcoming. Wyatt got caught going over the top rope there. What's Bryan going to do? Bryan lining him up. Crossbody block off the ring apron. Wyatt's down now. He's bleeding from the mouth now. Looked like a flying, spinning tornado DDT. Watch this. Bray probably bit his tongue after that one. What a way to kick off the Royal Rumble tonight. Referees now at the count of 5. Both men need to get back into the ring. The momentum building up. It's rally time for Daniel Bryan. The crowd with the yes chants. Bryan up to the top rope. Bray Wyatt not quite sure what he's going to do. Daniel Bryan looking to take advantage. This could be his opportunity and his moment. Missile drop kick. What a phenomenal performance put together by Daniel Bryan. Kick up by Bryan. Yes, you're right. This is amazing. Shades of his mentor, Shawn Michaels, who's there tonight watching this. After all Daniel Bryan has been through in this match, he keeps it up. And he's ready to start dishing out the pain. Listen to this crowd. He got him right on the kisser. That could be enough to put Bray Wyatt away. Daniel Bryan for the victory here in the Rumble. Kick out at 2. Bray Wyatt is just unstoppable. Same can be said for Daniel Bryan here tonight. He's hung in there since the beginning. If these guys can take it, I can watch this all night. You have to believe. WWE fans keep breaking into this is awesome chants. Bray Wyatt kicked into the ring now. Daniel Bryan going back and forth, corner to corner, and Wyatt levels him with a clothesline. Took him out of his boot. What a lariat that was. Daniel Bryan spinning in the air. Cover, 1, 2, kick out. Bryan still stays in it. What a match, these guys. What a collision. Watch this again. Watch this impact. Levels him. Whoa. That almost took Daniel Bryan out of his boots. Turned him inside out, a 360. Oh, Bray Wyatt now setting him up for Sister Abigail, kissing him goodbye. Bryan reverses it. Looking to steal one here, 2.5. That was so close. What's Bryan? Getting him into the yes lock. He doesn't have it hooked in yet. Oh, he has it locked in under the chin. Wyatt biting the hand. He's biting Daniel Bryan to break the hold. Bray Wyatt biting, pummeling him now. This is a war. It's more than a war. The end justifies the means here, folks. Wyatt's circling now, pulling Daniel Bryan up by the hair. Pounding his head into the canvas now, into the turnbuckle. I think Bray Wyatt is capable of anything. He will do anything. If you're a believer, this is what you do. Stop at nothing. Pull out all the stops. Headbutts back and forth now. Bryan trying to headbutt Bray Wyatt back. But that had no effect. Bray Wyatt now getting up higher. Hammering Daniel Bryan with another headbutt. Both men now. Wyatt, this is incredible. These guys are beating the hell out of each other. Daniel Bryan remembers Wyatt's been attacking his head. From the most of this matchup, Daniel is still going to go for the flying headbutt here. Wyatt, he got him. That was a splash. Looked like a half a splash. He didn't quite hit all of them. Both men now back to their feet. Daniel Bryan pumping his fingers as the yes chant moves. Wyatt ducks down out of the ring. Smart move by Bray Wyatt. Wisely gets out of the ring. Kick to the face by Daniel Bryan. Bryan now off the ropes. He's going to come flying through. Wyatt catches him. Slams him into the barricade. Head first into the barricade. Incredible. Daniel Bryan is done. He's out, folks. He's not moving. Referee John Gone better get in there and check on him. Look at that. Bryan came flying through the ropes. Sister Abigail, into the barricade. Wyatt carrying him and rolling him back into the ring here. Bray Wyatt doesn't want to count out. Bryan is helpless. Bray Wyatt just lifted his limp body and threw him into the ring as if he was nothing. Now picking Daniel Bryan up, I believe he thinks the end is near. It's time to sacrifice Daniel Bryan. He has him in position. The kiss. Sister Abigail. Down. 1, 2, 3. Bray Wyatt makes good on his word. That's the bell. He has beat Daniel Bryan and changed the world. The winner of this match, Bray Wyatt. What an incredible match, folks. Incredible. You can't take anything away from Daniel Bryan here tonight. That fight in his heart. Here come the Wyatt family in now to celebrate with Bray Wyatt and stand over the lifeless body of Daniel Bryan. Bray said he didn't need his boys, and he proved he didn't. There you see Luke Harper. We miss that man so much today. Bray Wyatt leads by example, and that was a phenomenal example. That does it for this match. If you look at this from the other side, heading into the Royal Rumble, Bray Wyatt wasn't just another opponent on the card. He felt like something entirely different in WWE. Wyatt had arrived with this unsettling presence that didn't rely on championships or traditional momentum. Instead, his strength came from atmosphere. that'll just about do it for this episode this week, folks. This was about identity. That's what made it so intense, because every moment in this match carried the weight of a question. Can you break a man who the world refuses to let break? Bray Wyatt, Daniel Bryan stepped out of the Royal Rumble not just as two competitors, but as two completely different forces colliding in the middle of one of WWE's most chaotic nights. Bryan walks in carrying an entire movement on his back, fighting for validation that he shouldn't have been needed to ask for in the first place. Bray Wyatt walks in trying to strip all of that away, trying to prove that belief, momentum, and emotion can all be broken if you hit the mind first. And when the bell rings, it stops being about promos or frustration or momentum, and it becomes about survival of identity. Bryan trying to hold on to everything he's built with the fans. Bray trying to tear it apart one piece at a time. That's it for this watch along. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Just In Case. I'll catch you next time. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or issues, I want to hear from you. Email me at watchalongwithjustincase.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And make sure you hit the subscribe button, folks. We need the subscribers. Have a nice week. We'll see you back on Monday, where we dive into the Wyatt 6.